Yes, it's winter, but we'll be cruising again soon. Backstroke to the hot summer days of 2018 and those good times hanging out and having fun with friends. In this video, we'll look at a few cars, talk with a few folks, and bring back those carefree days in the sun. T-shirts and shorts and top-down cruising. George took his 65 Barracuda all apart and put it back together again after making everything perfect. It's running a 273 high-performance engine. Lots of good memories in a 67 Beaumont for Leo and Pat. This one has a 454 engine. It's turning out 575 horsepower. And Norm has owned this 56 Ford since 1994. It used to be a drag car, but Norm has changed all that.
It was a gasser. We drove it for 2 summers like that, and then I wanted to make it a nice driver, so we went into restoration, and it took 10 years to restore it.
Norm's redone the interior and added a 4-speed shifter. The car has a 390 engine and turns out 400 horsepower. A cool feature is the tub quarters that allow the rear wheels to fit comfortably. For Jim, the shoe as he's known, this 37 Chevy is his dream car.
I have loved 37 Chevs for about 35 years, and so it was built in Canada, has lived in Canada its entire life, still has the original body tag on it.
This is a drag car, and Jim is rebuilding the engine this winter for another season of fun. Frank is a body man. He bought this car back in 1989. It was in pieces, and then began the painstaking restoration.
I like the way it looked. I like the look, the body design. It's a little bit different than the 66 that I had as well. And the newer one didn't appeal to me as much as this one here did.
This Mustang is pretty well stocked. The custom candy apple paint job on this car, believe it or not, is 30 years old. And here's Gil's 38 Chevy sedan and the story behind it.
Well, actually, the guy moved in across the street from my house, and it was sitting in his driveway, and I purchased it off him right out of his driveway. He didn't drive the car, and it was left to him by his dad.
But there's more to the story than that.
To be honest with you, I bought a 39 Chev to restore, and it was in my backyard at home, and this guy moved in across the street, and this one was already done.
Here are a few specifications.
350 Chev, 700R 4 tranny, Ford 9-inch. It's got a Chevy 2 subframe in it. It's got power steering, power brakes, cruise control. It's a nice daily driver, actually. I've been interested in old cars my whole life. My older brother got me into cars when I was about 14 years old.
That's Dave, and that's his 1937 Woolsey. And yes, it's a rat rod. At one time back in the UK, this was a police car chasing down the bad guys. It's undergone a few modifications since then. Steering has been shifted to the left-hand side, and it has a powerful V8 engine. From 1957 to 1961, Studebaker Hawks looked pretty much all the same. Oh, there were a few changes like the grille and other things, but the basic styles look quite similar. This is Bob's 1961 Studebaker Hawk. It's got 3 on the tree, posit traction, and a Studebaker 289. Here's Bob's story.
I had a Studebaker Speedster, and I had an Avante before, and I've just always liked them. And it seems like every time that I think back when I was younger and that, I had a 54 Studebaker, and we always used it because they always won the mobile economy run, and it was a 6 and it was really cheap on gas.
You know, years ago I recall seeing early 50s Studees running on the track. Most had little 6-cylinder engines, but were pretty quick on the oval. Well, that's about it for this edition, but before I go, I'd like to thank everyone, including Jim, who sends these videos out, for being part of our car group. You know, it's folks like you that make these events so much fun. Car people are indeed the best people. Thanks for viewing. And come spring, we'll see you at the car shows and cruise nights.